speakers.
How are you?
And we have enough people to march, but we're going to wait a little bit and just to have that. So I'd like to now invite someone all of you should know who's been part of this movement and speaking at almost every rally, our brother Toussaint. Say his name!
Laid!
Say his name! Say his name! Say his name! Are you here? Are you here? Are you demanding justice? Are you demanding justice? Are you demanding better? Are you demanding better? Are you here? Are you here? My name is Toussaint Morrison, and I grew up in Riverside Plaza with many Somali brothers and sisters. And one thing that we should point out, regardless of the person, before you knew who Jalal was, before you knew the skin color, we showed up here.
Yep.
We showed up here before we knew who this person was. We saw what they put out. We saw them put out the video. They had many body cams, and they chose one. And when we see their choices, what they're choosing to show us is just as important as what they're choosing to not show us. They are not showing us that they shot from all directions. It is an act of God that nobody else was shot that day. This is irresponsible. This is absolutely unacceptable. And we have to demand better. Are you here?
Yes.
Are you here? Yes. And when you see our brother Omar speak here, where are the rest of the elected officials? Where's your city council member? Where is your mayor? Where's Chief Arredondo now? Where are they at? They're at home, right where they want you to be. They want you to be back at home. They don't want us in these streets. And I'll tell you something. When I stand with you brothers and sisters, I stand with you as a black brother. I stand with you as a black man. And I stand with all of you in solidarity. Growing up in Riverside Plaza, very quickly, my brothers and sisters came to know there wasn't a lot of difference between us, except for the fact that I only spoke one language. I wish I could speak more, but I don't.
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter!
Black Lives Matter! Just about a month and a half ago, you had city council members vote to give the Minneapolis Police Department an extra $500,000.
Well,
Unacceptable. What they should be doing right now, after you saw the video of them turn over Jalal Eid's family's house, treat them like animals. Let me see them try to do that in Edina. Let me see them try to do that in Eden Prairie. Let me see them try to do that to a white family in Champlain Park. You're never going to see it. They want to treat us like animals. They want to say who shot first or who had what. However, when they pull up, what was Jalal feeling? We'll never know. What was Jalal thinking? We'll never know. What would Jalal say now? We'll never know. You are charged to carry the story of Jalal Eid. And as Jaylani said, say his name every day. Say his name. Say his name. Say his name. Say his name. And lastly, I challenge you with this. You should tell your elected officials that if these police are going to pull up with hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars onto the teeth, they should pay for that boy's funeral. They should pay for their funeral. They should be paying for all the mental health that their family's going to need going forward. Every bit of therapy that family is going to need. And if you sit here now, you know that Jalal was affected, obviously, his immediate family was, but we, as a black community, as a Minneapolis community, are all affected. If we don't get no justice, if we don't get no justice, if we don't get no justice, if we don't get no justice,
All right. Say his name. Say his name. Say his name. All right, now I'd like to invite two people you should know. A lot of people in Minneapolis woke up when they killed Jamar Clark, but they did not stop, folks. They kept killing and killing and killing. So one of the powerful organizations we have right now is the Twin Cities Coalition for Justice for Jamar. And I have two of the organizers here with me, Jeff and Loretta. Please give them a hand and welcome.
What a shame that we gather here again, just blacks from where we were this summer when George Floyd's life was taken.
Yes.
What a shame that when we came here the night Delano was killed,
That's right.
we were confronted with a line of riot police,
That's right.
including Mark Ringenberg, who was responsible for the death of Jamar Clark.
Right.
The fact is the MPD is a department of serial killers.
Yep.
They kill and kill again.
That's
They
right.
cover up for each other again and again.
Right.
And it's got to stop.
That's right.
TCC for J, Twin Cities Coalition for Justice for Jamar, we stand with you to demand justice for Jamar.
That's right.
We are continuing our fight to demand community control of these reckless, violent, racist police officers.
That's right.
We will not stop until we decide who polices our communities and how. Until we get these violent cops off our streets, until we have justice for the land and all the other lives stolen.
That's right. Thank you.
Listen!
Thank you.
I always say that I'm never tired when I'm out in these streets, but I'm sick and tired of the Minneapolis Police Department.
That's right, dude.
It seems like every year, it seems like month after month we're dealing with these cops, these killer cops.
That's right.
And it's stupid. It's stupid that we're. Thank you. It's stupid that we continue to protest and nothing changes. And we still need to stay out in these streets.
That's right.
We need to stay out in these streets because they think we get tired, they think it's getting colder, and they think because it starts earlier we're gonna go over.
That's right. That's right.
We were out here doing it because we didn't know his name. We didn't know who he was. We knew it was another person in this city who was killed by this murderous police.
That's right.
So we're going to continue to demand justice for Bilal, for George Floyd, for all the stolen lives in this community. They keep killing our community members, and they keep thinking that we're just going to stop. We're not going to stop. I encourage everyone to continue to stay out in the streets, to put pressure on these people, to put pressure on this system, because this system is rotten to its goddamn core. Something needs to change. That's why we need to control the police. That's why we demand that these cops are held accountable for what they did. It's murder. What they did was murder. It's murder. So all I want to say is justice for the loud and justice for all lives. Say his name! Say his name! Say his name! We don't get no justice! If we don't get no justice!
Thank you both for your work, and I encourage everybody, I know some of you, this might be your first protest or in a while. I want you to know we've been out here, we're going to continue to be out here. And I hope many of you join us because a lot of the families of all these stolen lives are hoping that you come out and support them. And as you know right now, we have one of the largest protests. 646 people were actually cited by the police on the bridge there on 94, right after the election. And that they're hoping to take and make us not continue to fight. But all it did is make us even more stronger, and we're going to continue to protest and march. They're afraid of us, folks, and it's time for us to claim back because I want you to know the sad reality is this. Our tax dollars killed Dollar Eid. We are all guilty of this action. We need to fight back the system that we continue to feed and give money to. So now, it's hard to ask any family who's traumatized to speak. It is very difficult. It's not easy to talk about their loved one. And I really appreciate the last family and his father here with us. Please give them their time. And mic check, please do not say it. And give them a chance so we can hear them out, inshallah. Give us a few minutes. Here's the father who will speak a little bit. You can say it.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Waxaan ka codsanayaa dhammaan ummadda isku jirta ee goobta joogta banaanbaxa ee ku dagaalamaysa waxaan idin leeyahay waa mahadsantihiin all of you who came here to support me and looking for the justice for my son. I need your help. We have to stop with this brutality of police who kill our sons every day. We must stop it. We need justice. We don't need a peace. We need a right and equality. We have a lot of painful for the black community, minority community. They kill every day our kids. No reason. And it is unacceptable. Kandi and I need your help until the last day we get the justice. Thank you very much. Please never give up. Never give up. Assalamu alaikum. Waxaan ahay aabbaha Dollar Eid. Waa la dilay gacanta xadaran baa dishay wiilkaygii. Waxaa lagu dilay meeshan gadaashayda ah. Boolisku beentay iyo waxa ay sheegeen waa wada ognahay. Waxaan idinka codsanahayaa in la garab istaago oo cadaaladda aan garab istaagno. Garab istaago. Si aysan beri u dhicin wiil Soomaaliyeed ama gabar Soomaaliyeed ama wiil madow ah. Berito. Haddii aanan iska cashanin oo isku mid aanan noqonin waxa weeye maalin walbaba waxay ahaanaysaa cadaalad waxayna ahaanaysaa cadaalad darro sidaas unbaa carruurteena loo walaynaya waxa weeye laba stick together waa inaan isdhiganana waa inaan istaageernaa qoys walbaba haddii la moodahayo maanta inay aniga tahay you will never know tomorrow adiga inay ma noqon doonto dhammaanteen same baan wada qabnaa xanuunku waxa weeye weyna wada hayaa marka waxaan u baahannahay we don't need peace nabad ma rabno we need a justice we don't need peace until we get our justice we don't need to stop this fight until we get our equality and our rights and our justice peace was supposed to be allow us to fight back. Allow us to fight back until last day we get our rights and our justice. Thank you very much for your support. And you are going to be Tayara and Italian and Adalat and Tayara. Please stay back. Please stay back.
Space. We're still in the COVID protocols. I know many people are wearing masks, but we need to give ourselves space. And also back to see. So give yourself some space for the media. If you can take a knee or something so that people behind you can see, that would be appreciated. If you can, these people can see behind you, inshallah. And then we have a few more speakers and we're going to be marching, so be prepared for that.
waxaa maanta u jeedaan runtii inaan u soo baxnay wiilkeennii Dollar waa maqlayseen aabe runtii waxa uu dalbanayaa cadaalad waxa uu doonayaa wiilkiisa waxa lagu dilay marka hareyno dagaalkan uu soconayaa continue to fight every day we need justice waxaan u baahannahay inaan garab istaagno taageero dhaqaale morally hawshaan aabbo walba iyo hooyo walba ay ku dhacaysaa ogaada qofka madow oo waddankan jooga siduu jaylaani dadkooda ay sheegeen xaquuqdiisa lama siiyo ilaa iyagu ay dagaalamaan ma u dagaalameyna xuquuqdana ma doonayna every day taageerina dolaal taageerina dolaal ilaa cadaaladda aan helo waa soconayna soo maa waa soconayna isteedkamitaanka waa tegaynaa soo maa isteedkamitaanka waa tegaynaa soo maa nabaxayna soo maa
Thank you so much. We have a couple more speakers. I appreciate it. Now I'd like to invite someone all of you know, someone who has been fighting, has been doing this work, making sacrifices for our community, a voice of a generation, our leader in this movement, Nakima Levy Armstrong.
Agreement with you. This is really powerful to see the Somali community, the native-born African American community, some white allies, some Hmong people, some native people, some Latino people coming out together saying that we demand justice, we demand accountability, and we demand transparency. See, the powers that be did not expect the Somali community to show up and speak up and stand up and demand justice. They expected you all to sit on the sidelines, but you are saying today we are not confused. We can see clearly what is happening within this system, and we want to be treated like human beings. The same way that they would treat people in the most affluent parts of this community. We know that when you are black, there is a double standard in terms of how you are treated. And the sad part is that the police have the same playbook time and time again. That's why we can look around the corner and see what they're up to. Every single time, no matter whether somebody had a weapon or they didn't, whether they're riding in a car with their significant other and child, or whether they're standing at the back of an ambulance, or whether they're having a mental health crisis, the system always claims that the use of deadly force was justified. And we know that that is a lie from the pit of hell. The only time we've seen them claim that it wasn't justified when it was a white, affluent woman who was killed by a Muslim, black Somali officer. So why the double standard? Not only did they give the signal that her life mattered, even though there was no video evidence, no witnesses, we don't know what happened in that situation. But what we do know is that they stripped a black police officer from the force, and they put him in prison, and then they gave her family a transfer of wealth from the city of Minneapolis in the form of $20 million. Meanwhile, black person after black person after black person has been killed, and their family gets little to nothing. No sympathy, no empathy, not even the cops being fired, let alone financial resources. Somebody say that ain't right. That ain't right. So we want to get to the truth of what happened in that situation. When I saw the video, before I saw the video, I already knew that MPD didn't have their story together. Because first we heard it was a felony stop. Well, for what? I asked the mayor. He didn't know. I asked other people. I don't know. Well, how can you not know what a felony stop was for, and you expect us to just trust you when you've already shown you are unworthy of our trust? That's right. And then, as people raised questions, we demanded video. People showed up out here all times of the night, standing off with the police. Suddenly, they produced a half-baked video with their own analysis on it, and we still don't have the truth. They're telling us, trust us. Well, they haven't earned our trust. We don't believe you, MPD. And here's the other reality. When I saw the video and saw that the police ambushed this man, I'm thinking, what would any reasonable person do try to get away? That has nothing to do with whether they were guilty of something before or after, but you're trying to protect your life. Right? That's what happened when you see cop cars cornering somebody in. And then they're telling us what happened. Well, where is the witness who was in the car with the loud? don't know. No one knows who she is, what she saw, and what happened in that situation. And here is the other aspect of it. I do not condone violence. I do not condone violence against police. But I also know that there have been how many white men who have shot at the cops, who have killed people, who have done harm, and have been apprehended alive. How is that okay? How do they say we have good training when it's a white man who is shooting at the cops or committing crimes and killing people? Our black lives do matter. We should not rest until we receive justice, until we get answers, until the police are held accountable, until we know the names of the cops involved and their backgrounds and their histories that helped to lead up to this situation. So, as Shaylani said, we have to keep showing up. We have to keep demanding answers. We have to keep demanding transparency. We have to keep demanding that killer cops be fired when they take a life without justification. And we have to demand that our elected officials do their damn job. To rubber stamp the status quo. We are fed up. We are tired of being demonized as black people. We are tired of having our rights trampled upon. We are tired of the system thinking that we don't have common sense and intelligence to see when we're being hoodwinked and bamboozled and when there's a cover-up going on.
That's right.
But what we are saying is enough, is enough, is enough.
Thank you, Nakima. Somebody else you know, a family member of Gold, Marcus Gold, he's been in this movement for a long time, and most importantly, when it was not like this, where people were coming out. You gotta listen to these families and people who are doing this work, because they've heard these lies from these agencies and systems over and over and over. We need to build ourselves and our community together. Please, let me invite you.
Thank you so much. Showing up for this family. Can we give a special hand to Jelani for taking the lead on this and organizing this and police brutality and to hold the police accountable? There's many hours that he's invested in this for others, as well as people in the Super community. So thank you for that. And I want to thank you, Twin Cities, for showing up here today to stand against this injustice and this mess and these lies that Minneapolis police continues to dole out to this community and to the people, because we do deserve better. We deserve to be able to live and to drive and to walk and to breathe without fear of being killed by the police. And what happens, it makes it so much worse, is that the police are allowed to control the narrative. And we need the media to stop repeating and amplifying the lies of the police department here in people of color. Because this is what happens time and time again. I am the out of Marcus Golden, who was shot in the back of his head while parked in his vehicle, and yet somehow it was said that he tried to run the police over when he shot in the back of his head. He was unarmed for 11 hours. They came and raided my mother's house to get a gun that he legally owned. So 11 hours later, as they tried to crack their line, they did this. And when I watched the video of this family in their home at 2 a.m., door busted down, handcuffed a little baby who needs help, the police is giving him orders, the officer's telling the other child, you're okay? No, he's not okay. He's not okay because there's been an invasion. I'm tired of the police trying to tell us how we're supposed to feel in the face of injustice. This has got to stop. This is what happens when the police come into the home because they're looking for evidence, because they have to create a justification for a murder.
Yep.
And so what we saw in that video is not what the police are saying. I've talked to many people. I've called people. I've said, I don't even see a gun.
Nope.
I do not see him shooting. What I see is an officer who did not even flinch before he shot. So if there had been a bullet exiting the car with that sound, don't you think that officer's hand would not have been so steady? He might have jumped if he heard a gun. No, because they're lying. And as someone shared on Facebook who's been working in glass, he said for 30 years, he said it's tempered glass.
Yep.
And it's shaped at an angle.
Yep.
And if you break the window even from the inside, the glass will shatter out. That's right. So if you shoot it from the outside, the glass is still coming out. It doesn't matter. Inside, outside, it's going to break and fall out. That's why when you see car accidents, you see glass shatters up to 10 feet away.
Yep.
It's going to splatter and go outward. So that officer who shot also at an angle, not directly at him, at an angle, the glass would naturally go outside. So what they're trying to do is not release the videos from the other officers' cars. They have not released the video from the gas station. But what they did is they took 24 hours to find the worst video.
Yep.
The most obvious video.
That's right.
Come out and support this family. But we say to hell with that because we know what we saw. We know that Black Lives Matter. And I'm so thankful to be in a time and a place with people who do not believe the police narrative, but will come out and put their boots on the ground, feet to the fire, and stand up against these police lies. We have to stop letting people listen to Mo, Larry, and Curly as they stand up here and tell us these police lies. So we have to know right from wrong, and we do. So we're here to hold the police accountable. We need you to stop lying on our loved ones and our families. Stop tormenting our families while you invade their homes. The children are forever tormented, and I'm sure are having nightmares about the raid in their homes, as the entire family would be. To have your door busted down at 2 o'clock in the morning, and then to have them invade and be in your home for 2 hours. With, as Michelle Gross, president of CAPP, pointed out, she said the door was open. They went into the home not wearing masks during the season of COVID. They put the family at extra risk for their health, for their long-term health, by going into their house. Our governor has issued a decree that basically you cannot gather with 10 people or more, but they send more than 10 people into that home.
Yep.
Without wearing masks. So it is another double standard that the police are able to lie and do whatever they want, whenever they want, abuse people in their home and in the streets. Black Lives Matter.
We only have 2 more speakers, and we're going to be marching, so get ready for that. And then we're going to have more speakers at the end. We're going to come back and then finish here, inshallah. So give a little bit of patience. So now I'd like to invite somebody you all know, one of our leaders in our community, Brother Abdullah Fawad. Assalamu alaikum. I want to start with saying, I want to say thank you to everyone that showed up today here to encourage, when we stand up for justice. It's when we see things like this, we've been out here before, over and over again, our community is hurting. We see clearly that there is cancer in our system, that black and brown bodies are being killed left and right, around the nation and here in Minnesota. But we're saying no. As you heard leaders say here, enough is enough. On behalf of faith leaders, I want to say, enough is enough. Enough is enough.
I love you.
We want transparency. We want to hold those who are responsible for terrorizing families. Those who are taking lives.
Yours was too?
No.
And those who sometimes, because of the color of the skin of the person, even if they're shooting back at the police, they come back alive. But you don't see our community members, people who look like me. If we are caught in a situation like this, we don't know if we're going to come out alive. We don't know if we're going to come out alive. Is this justice? No. Is this justice? No. We want justice for our community.
Yeah,
That's
we'll
why we are
pro.
up here.
That's why I'm a little cautious of
Full
what I show up
transparency.
to.
We want to see all of the cameras. We want to see first we heard this was a traffic stop. Now we
I know,
heard
right?
other things. What is it? We need clear answers at this moment. That is why the community here, this is why we're going to keep fighting. We're going to go take it all the way to the city level, wherever it might be. We're going to hold to the state level, we're going to hold everyone accountable. We're going to organize. We're going to build the power that we need because it is our community. We can't wait for no one else.
You don't get to do that,
No
right? You
one
don't get to
else
just
is out there for
drop
us.
that on
It is
I'll
us
come back.
to keep us safe. We keep ourselves. Who
I'm
keeps us
so
safe?
sorry, baby. I thought you knew.
Who keeps us safe?
I thought you
We
knew.
keep ourselves safe. Brothers and sisters, I want to thank
I'm a boomerang.
all
I
the
always
leaders
come
that
back.
came here and say,
Boomerangs
keep on
always come
marching,
back.
keep on fighting, keep on organizing,
we have to go so we
keep
can
on
come back.
claiming your voice no matter where you are. Thank you so much.
Ecuador's not that far away.
Oh, okay, sure. No, I mean, we're recorded the later anyway, so yeah, sure. No, 50.
geeridaa ku timid way lagu wada dhacday mid keligiisa maaha laakiin waxa weeyaan caawa xalay iyo caawa isku waraan noqon maayo because waa iskala taagnay hawshaasi hawl lagu socotay bay ahayd haddaynaan iskala
They're all up in there. They're all up in there. Or at least King is. But I literally just showed up and posted up here because I was late. So.
walaalkan waxay naga go'aana inaan isgarab
Part of my
taagno
backpack.
ilaa cadaalad uu helayo doolaal allahu akbar allahu akbar allahu akbar allahu akbar ilaa kabitaalka habeen iyo dharaar walaalkeen horeyna way noogu dhacday haddaynaan ka horteginna dib bay noogu dhacaysaa waa inaynu sidaas oo walaaltinimaha oo garabkaan isqabsanno oo madowga wixii baa layna caadaystay dhanna uma soconno nimanka weynu haddii alla inagoo dagaalamaynin communitinimo iyo isqabsi iyo midnimaynu ku dagaalamaynaa midnimaynu ku dagaalamaynaa ku kasta oo walaalkeena waan garab taagannahay hooyo walba waan garab taagannahay waa xanuunina wada haya allahu akbar allahu akbar allahu akbar
What we're gonna do now is we're gonna march. So we want everybody to get to 35th and see them, wait there, and then the band is gonna come in front, and the band will be leading us, inshallah. We want everybody to be safe. We want everybody to be safe. Not everyone in this rally is for the right reason. Please know that. We have been on these streets far too long to know white supremacists and all other groups are trying to create chaos in our movement. But we're not going to let that happen. We've got marshals who are wearing vests. Please listen to them. Be patient. But remember, as Brother Abdullah said, who keeps ourselves safe? It's ourselves. All right? And then we're going to come back here. We're going to have more speeches and more people speaking, inshallah. But let be heard. We're going to put our boots on the ground.
Everybody.
Boots.
I'm gonna go
Boots
play some
on the
drums.
ground.